Welcome to Sam's Cooking Show. Today, we're making steak and eggs. Let's get into it. Here's what you'll need for this recipe. To begin, we're gonna cook 3 strips of bacon. All right, so we're making Madison and Sam's famous steak and eggs today. This is a recipe Madison and I make all the time. I think we made it once maybe, but it was really good. I actually find that it works a lot better if you have your beautiful wife assisting you with this dish, because there's a few different elements, and one thing I often struggle with is trying to get everything to be done and hot and warm all at the same time. And so if you have someone assisting, a lot of times she'll do, she'll be doing hash browns and peppers and onions, and then I got bacon and steak and then eggs at the end. So I'd recommend, if you have someone special in your life, giving this recipe a try, and let me know what you think. I've often said about bacon, a lot of times it'll look like, oh, it needs some more time, but actually, if you pull it, it's good. Next, we'll cook our hash browns. All right, so we'll lower that heat now and do the hash browns right in this same bacon fat. Kind of go in like that with them. Grab a spatula and kind of get it to go in a bit of a, almost like a patty of sorts, because you'll get some on the outside that are really crispy and then some on the inside that are a little softer. But I once again have not succeeded in making a hash brown kind of puck. That's kind of what I'm going for. It's kind of like that, but it's kind of like also breaking all apart, but that's okay. The biggest thing is that they're cooked and we're well on our way to making that happen. If any of you guys are hash brown experts, leave a comment below your top 5 hash brown tips. All right, I think these are either done or very close to done here. Grab our little plate or bowl here, kind of put them into one corner. Next, we're gonna dice our white onion and bell peppers and give those a nice saute. So for the bell pepper, pretty easy. We're gonna go like that, cut down the top like so, and then you can literally just grab this guy, pull him right out. Great, just cut off the top there. We should be able to just go all the way around. And then we'll just go down the side like so. All right, and then last but not least, we're gonna do our onion. So we'll keep the root intact here. Chop off the top. And then we're gonna get rid of the skin and the outer layer of onion as well. And then depending on how much onion I need, if I want just a work surface, I sometimes cut off the bottom like that so it's nice and flat. We'll cut straight down a few times, not all the way through. And then now we got the verticals going, and we'll do 2 across. So 1 and 2. Now all you have to do is right down Broadway. All right, so we'll turn our heat to medium or so. Hit it with some avocado oil and add our peppers and onions. You might also be thinking to yourself, Sam, this seems like a lot of peppers and onions for We're gonna put them on that little bit of hash browns. And you'd be correct. So you don't need this much. I'm just gonna do like, bloop. All right, we're gonna say those are done. So kill that heat. Go into a Tupperware or something, some kind of container. And then we're just gonna go on top of our hash browns like that.
Now we'll season our steak with salt and pepper.
All right, for seasoning a steak, pretty straightforward here. Just salt and pepper. We've got a ribeye here today. In the past, I've said go for something more like a chuck. You can do whatever you want, of course. Today I'm going ribeye, just treating myself. This is like 15 bucks, I think. So go up high with some salt. Great. And then we'll do some freshly cracked black pepper. And then same thing. Generous pinch of salt. And black pepper. Massage that in there, make sure it's evenly distributed, and then we'll get the edges of the steak as well with all that excess.
On a high heat skillet, we're gonna take our steak, sear that fat cap for a minute or two, then cook it on one side for 1 to 2 minutes.
All right, so for the steak, we're gonna go high heat, and then hit that with some avocado oil to coat the bottom here. That should be good. And we want this, I would say, ripping hot. We want this to be super hot so that we can get a quick sear, but not, you know, go crazy and cook it until it's burnt. All right, so that's starting to smoke, and that means it's time to go. So, so here we go. We're gonna sear the fat cap. That's a good sound. That for about a minute or so. And this will also give us a good idea of how long we need to go. It's pretty close for each side. And that's looking pretty good. So we're gonna go down on one side, letting away from us, so to get in some of that oil. And let that go for about 1.5 minutes. And you'll see some smoke and you might go, uh-oh, is that bad? It's okay. Maybe open a window or two just to be safe. Doesn't hurt to turn on one of these fans.
Next, we'll flip and immediately baste with butter for another 1 to 2 minutes.
All right, it's been about a minute, and I'm gonna give it a flip. Got a little bit in the middle there that didn't get color. That's too bad. Kind of move it around here. Make sure that it does this time. Go in with our butter here. Grab our spoon, tilt the pan. Go over the steak like so. And then we're gonna temp this bad boy to see if we're close. My concern is always going over. So we're already at 100, 103. So I'm gonna pull this just about any second now. Yeah, it's at 120. I'm scared this is actually over already. So we're gonna pull this bad boy. Much better sear on this side here. We got that sound, which is always good. Let that rest for about 5 minutes.
Finally, we'll turn that heat down to low, crack 2 eggs into our skillet, and let those cook.
All right, last but not least, we're gonna do our eggs to finish it off here. So gently crack your egg like so. Perfect. Grab the other one. And on the other side. Perfect. And then we want this heat super low. And then once those have started to, you can see kind of the edge forming there. What we're gonna do is grab some water and throw that water in there and immediately cover. What that'll do is steam them a little bit. So I don't know if you'd call this a fried egg or a sunny side up or over easy or somewhere in the middle of all those, but this is what I like to do. You get the bottom crispy, but then it should be a little bit runny is what I'm going for. Again, I don't know if it's sunny side up or what it is. They're just eggs. These are looking just about done, I think. Especially this guy here. There we are. Perfect. The yolk is intact. That's good. All right, so we got our steak here. You can throw just this whole thing on the plate, but I like to cut it up so it's kind of in more bite-sized pieces. So let's see here if we achieved anything close to medium rare. I'm a little concerned because of how thin it is. It might be closer to medium, but again, that's just kind of is going to be the thickness. With this thin, you got to go pretty high and fast, but I'm still pretty content with that, and I think look-wise, it's looking pretty good. Get this steak on our plate like so. That's pretty good. All right, so we got our steak and eggs here. Start with our bacon. Can't go wrong with bacon. Let's get a bite of some of our hash browns here. We're good. Peppers and onions give it a bit of a there's peppers and onions vibe to it. And lastly, our steak. There were some pieces, I don't know if you can see there. There were some pieces that did actually get pretty medium rare. It just kind of depends on where they were in the steak. And let's give it a try. That's pretty good. And then last but not least, let's get a bite with our yolk. Spilling out there. Got a piece of our egg. There's something about that combo. It just hits different, as the kids would say. Thanks for watching Sam's Cooking Show. Make sure to watch us next time. Bye. When I used to work at Taco Bell, there's a kid who came in and he was all excited. He was like, what would happen if you mix all the sauces together? And I said, there's only one way to find out. So I'm going to do that with everything in one bite.